welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Alicia and I'm an illustrator and small business owner. Today is gonna be the fourth video in my Procreate series. And today is actually the first time we're gonna do any art. So, like my plan for the next videos, if you're like interested in knowing a little bit more, because the next videos are kind of gonna be related to this one. So in this one we're gonna do like a simple, I think simple enough, little art piece, and then we're gonna use this art in the next videos also when we talk about color, like all the colors of related stuff, how to change the colors of your art, how to blur stuff, blah blah. So we're gonna use that, and then also we're gonna turn it into a mini animation in the vlog after that. So the video from today is useful for the next videos also, just in case you're watching this out of order. Video number 4 goes with video number 5, 6 at least. I would need to look at my list again. I kind of tweaked a little bit some stuff recently, so I'm a little confused. But yeah, I made a PDF version of how to draw what we're gonna draw today, so you can download it if you use the link in the description below. It's gonna take you to my Ko-fi page, and then you can download it for free there. Just in case you don't remember or you want some notes, or if you want to look at it from your computer or something, or on the side of your, if you want to print it and then do it the rest on your iPad. Okay, so let's get to it. It's my first draw with me tutorial kind, so I'm a little bit let me know what you think in the comments, please. I'm gonna do my best. Okay, so this is the artwork we're gonna make. It's a strawberry chiffon cake. So the first thing I did a little easy like step by step with some basic shapes. After that we're gonna draw. So I'm gonna redraw them like with you actually, to show you how it works. But so first we're gonna take a brush that is like mostly the same size and that you find it easy to sketch with. So for me, I used Max U mechanical pencil from the Comic Max pack. It's mostly what I use all the time. And then we're gonna draw this. You can't see it so well anymore, but we're gonna draw this shape in one stroke. You need to hold your pen, you don't lift it from the iPad, so you go and, oops, maybe it's a little too thin. So you go like this, and don't worry about if it's shaky, ugly or whatever. You go like this, and then you hold it, and then it's gonna create the shape that we need. Perfect. We're gonna add this side of the cake that you saw here. We're gonna add this side. So for here you do the same thing. You always hold. This one is a little bit tweakier. Either you can do it in 2 separate lines like this, or you find a way to kind of make a triangle in one go if you want, like we did with this one. But for the easiest, I think, would be you just look at your shape and then you kind of evaluate like the thickness of the cake that you want, and then you go like this. You hold always, and then it's gonna make a straight line. And then if you want to know like the angle, you can use your other finger and then you press on your iPad, and here it should give you the right angle for the slice of cake that we want. And then you do the same with the other line like this, and you join this one while holding all the time. So here you have straight lines. So here we have a basic shape for the cake. And next we're gonna add what goes inside. So like we're gonna add the sponge, and we're gonna add some filling of strawberry filling. So for this you do the same thing. You do some rectangles, either without lifting, like I said, like this, and then you hold, and then you hold like this, and then here you go, and then or you go line by line, going in some sort of like a, with like the thickness that you would prefer. And then to make it parallel to the one on top, you can just put your finger. This one, the angle should be a little different, but always draw the line, and then you hold until it becomes straight and that you're satisfied with the angle. So this should be great. This is gonna be the thickness of my sponge cake, and this is gonna be a little strawberry filling. Next, we're gonna add a strawberry decoration on top. So as you saw here, there's a strawberry and some cream. So the reason I'm doing this first is because it's easier to draw when you have the basic shapes, and then you start adding more details and you curve the line and everything. It's like when you want to draw like a person, you start by drawing the overall shape of the body, and then you add like curves, blah blah. The same thing. So we want our strawberry to be around kind of the middle, something like this. So here for the strawberry, you see if I hold the pen all the time, it's gonna become round, but it's just not a strawberry shape. So you want it to be a little less. You're not gonna hold this time, you're just gonna draw your shape, and then that's it. And even if it's not perfect, we can correct it later, so it's fine. Like this is fine for me for now. Next we're gonna add the basic shape of the whipped cream on top. So we want some whipped cream in the back. Oops. Whipped cream in the back, so we're just gonna say here there should be whipped cream, and then we want some whipped cream at the top also over the strawberry, so like this, maybe a little more round like this. And then finally we're gonna add some strawberries in the middle, like a little garnish of strawberries. So you can just draw shapes that look like a slice of strawberry, and then you don't hold the pen, otherwise it's gonna start making circles, and that's not what we want. So just like this should be the overall shape of your cake once you're done. And then if you want to see all the steps again more like easily, so if you look at the PDF, it should look like this, all different colors, so that all the shapes that we drew are easier to see. You can do it like that too if you prefer, or you can do it only one color like I just did before. This was mostly for it to be easier for you when you follow like the video. So the next step after this is to make the sketch. Like we want it to look like this in the end. So what we're gonna do is here I grouped all my elements together. I showed you in the last video how to group, but if you forgot, you click on one element and then you swipe right on the others until you selected everything you want, and then you group it together. So this group, we're gonna duplicate it, and then we're gonna flatten the group here. So now it's one image, and then we're gonna hide the first group that we had. And then this image, we're gonna put the opacity lower. Usually I go around 25-30%. And then we're gonna add a layer on top. Add a layer. And then you can take a color that you feel good sketching with. It doesn't have to be black, it can be any color. I think I'm gonna keep going with red so it's easy for you to see. Maybe what I'm doing. But here what we're gonna do is like, here we have really straight edges, and that's not really what we want for a cake. I mean, cakes are rarely that straight. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna draw over the lines, but without holding the pen, so it's gonna look more natural if it's like a little bit shaky. I'm gonna go like this, and then we're gonna follow our shapes also. Like here it becomes some cream, so if there's like a little bump, it's fine, because technically this would be hard and this would be soft. You know how cake works, it all gets messed up when you cut it. And then here we're gonna do, this is all the creamy stuff on top, like this. So you see here I curved it, and then like if you look here, I added like a strawberry mousse kind of, and then some glaze over it. So if we want to do like this kind of effect, we're gonna add like another little layer in the middle, just like this, that follows here this line. Oops. Because technically, like, yeah, it's not squared, you know, the top of a cake, there's always gonna be a little layer on top, so we're just gonna add it like this. And then this is our whipped cream on top, so what we're gonna do is really easy. We're gonna do shapes like this. Oops, maybe it's not big enough. Yeah, we can start like here. Oops. You can do like some sort of teardrop shape like this. Like this. 1, 2, 3. And then let's do 4 like this. And then there's gonna be more at the front here, so we're gonna do 1, 2, 3. This is like a really basic idea of a whipped cream. And then because the strawberry in the middle, we can add it now. I decided not to leave the little green leaves of the strawberry, but if you wanna add them, feel free to add them. Like this. And then it's a strawberry, so you can add seeds to your sketch if you want, or you can just add them later when you render the cake. I'm gonna add some so we can remember it's a strawberry. Like this. And then we just have the cake, the sponge in the middle to add. So we're gonna go like this, and then remember to try not to make any like too hard edges. Oops. Like this. And then the other cake is here. Oops. This one has jelly on top, so maybe I'm gonna draw the jelly layer first. Like this. And then just add the cake. And then finally we have our little strawberries in the middle. They don't need to look perfect, really. It's like slices of strawberry, so ta-da! And then here is supposed to have a little bit of cake. Maybe we can add it like this. So that's it. That's your sketch. And then we can add some details here in the strawberries like I did. You just want it to look like the image of a strawberry, really. Like, unless you want to do something really realistic, you can go for it. This is just my style, basically. Something like this. So here we have our cake that is done, and then you can hide the layer that was underneath this one, the one with all the shapes. So you only have this cake left, like this. And then the next step is gonna be to add the color. So if you look at the PDF, I wrote down like little samples of all the colors I use for it to look like this. So for the color, what I like to do is lower the opacity of this layer, again around 30%. And then I color underneath this layer, not over it, because it's hard to see the edges otherwise. So we're gonna add a layer underneath this one. We're gonna start painting. So for the painting, you can use whatever brush you like. My favorite one is the Max U Gouache Natural brush. It's the one I use for everything I do, basically. So we're gonna start with that. I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger. So we're gonna color this. So for the coloring part, I was thinking either you go like me right now with a brush and then you color, or I'm gonna show you another way. So if you go with a brush, you go like this and then you color around, like as far you can go under the line, but we can fix it after once we hide the lines. So this is one way of doing it. If you like a more textured color, like painting style, but if you don't want to bother with that and you want to go with really simple style, what you could do is this layer that we use, the red one, for me, the sketch. You need to make sure that all your lines are connected to one another though. So in my case they're not, so I'm gonna show you with the other one we did before, this one. So I'm gonna show you how to color using this. So we're gonna make this layer a reference here. So you just click on the layer and then there's gonna be a couple options, and right around the end there's gonna be a reference. So we're gonna add a layer over this one. And then what you can do with this is you can color really more a geometric style. If you wanted your cake to just be like this one, it would be fine also. So you do what we saw in the previous vlog, you just color, like drop the color here. So if I, oops. So this is what happens usually if your lines are not connected to each other, as you can see here. Or if the bleed is too big. So you can put it lower here, while like never lift your pen and you slide here, you're gonna see at the top the percentage is gonna change. So if you put it lower like this, it should be fine. And then what we can do is just like, you can just do this for all the parts if you prefer, like if you don't wanna bother with coloring by yourself, you can just do it like this, and it can give you like a cute effect too. Like this is our strawberry, it's kind of orange, but whatever. And then after you can fix it, like the parts you see where there was another line that we didn't erase, you can fix it later if you want. But let's say that this, I feel like this is a little too, not strawberry mousse, like this. And then our whipped cream. This is gonna be our whipped cream. So you see, you can really do it fast. And then you can undo the reference after that if you want to keep coloring on top, and then you could just like blur, like erase kind of the lines that we're doing. You're not erasing it because technically they're not on the same layer, you're just covering them. So you could just fix it like this quickly, and then we still see the color outlines, but if you hide it, they're gone. So you could leave it like this if you like the style of having a white line, or what you can do, just wait, I'm just gonna hide this one here. What you would do is just duplicate this layer again, and then you hide the first one, and then you pick a color that you like, so like maybe a pink like this, and then you click on it again, and then you do select, and it's gonna change the outline to the color you just selected. And then you could bring it over this to make sure that all the, oh maybe not, never mind. But yeah, so your cake could look like this. So you have your whipped cream. You could add some details if you want in there after, or you could do the same thing using your sketch that we did before and then put it over the colors. This is like the easiest, fastest way. Otherwise, you just color one by one and then it ends up looking like this if you color everything. So I showed you a little step-by-step of how I color by hand in the PDF version. The only step I didn't add is like the renderings, like adding little shadows or something. But I figured if you look at this image, you can reproduce it if you want. It's a really fast and like a basic drawing tutorial, but I wanted to show you many ways you can color something without like coloring it myself, because you see me color everything all the time. But yeah, so just so you remember, there's this technique where you just draw the color. You feel the shape so it's more geometric looking. Or there's the coloring everything like one by one, like you would do traditional painting, and then it ends up looking like this. Also, you can play with different brushes, but mine, the gouache natural one, like you see here, there's a lot of variation in color in the strawberry, but this is made from the same brush with the same color. It's just that I tweaked my brush a little bit so that there's a color variation, like here also you can see this beige. It's hard to show really well on camera maybe, but this is all the same color. The red here is a different color though, but I meant like the orange in here. The variation, like the little red, it's from the same color. So yeah, but for about tweaking the brushes, we can go, we can talk about it later. Maybe it's kind of advanced a little bit. But yeah, that's it. So I know that this video was really fast, but you can look at my PDF and then you can replay it many times if you're curious as how I drew all this. But otherwise, you just follow your lines if you're coloring by hand, and then you add some, try to think, like you can look at images of cakes also, some reference, and then try to think how it looks in real life. But also you can just go with your imagination. Like I know that strawberries don't look like this, but if you see this you still think it's strawberries, right? Yeah, you can simplify things a little bit and it's still gonna look like what it is. Same as this cake here, you can still kind of tell. I mean, maybe I didn't pick the best color for the example, it's kind of orange, but you can still guess that it's a strawberry chiffon cake. That's it for the tutorial. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if it was too fast, not clear enough. I skipped the part where I would color, like paint the whole cake by hand, because I figured it would be too long for no reason. I don't know if it's a mistake or not. I figured if you see me draw one part of the cake, you understand how it works, right? Everyone colored some coloring books. So I think the most important is the sketch part maybe, and like how to divide the elements based on their shape. And as I said, I made a little PDF that you can follow also, or if you have any question, leave them in the comments below, and eventually I'll do a more kind of in-depth drawing tutorial, and I can draw more. Like I'm not that good at rendering yet also, so I want to wait a little bit more before I give you advice that like I'm not sure if it's real advice. So yeah, that'll be it. So I hope you enjoy and see you next week. Bye!